Welcome back to Surviving and Thriving, where we share with you the things that we have learned as we have transitioned our family from struggling to survive disease to thriving right smack dab in the midst of it, in the hopes that something that we share with you will help you, enlighten you, and encourage you as you transition your family from struggling to survive disease to thriving right smack dab in the midst of it. I want to talk to you about something that we all have gone through at some point in time. Sometimes multiple times, a lot of times, multiple times. And if you haven't dealt with it, you need to be aware of it because it may come your way in your future. So let's talk about it. It's a danger, a thing that we need to look out for, be on alert for, and be aware of so that we can catch it at times, because it could be the difference between life and death for us. And what is that? What is this thing that I'm talking about? Well, sometimes you guys, especially when we're programmed in ourselves to be positive, to be overcomers, right? You can actually give up hope, right? Without consciously being aware that you've given up hope. Sometimes, because we tend to anesthetize our pain at times and tell ourselves things that are not necessarily true. Sometimes we don't deal with the truth of who we are, and that can always get us in a lot of trouble. But sometimes you can give up on the inside and not even realize you've given up, because you're constantly telling yourself that you didn't give up. You're constantly telling yourself you're still going for your goal, you're still going to get better, you're still believing that for the best and hoping for the best, but really on the inside you've given up. How do you know when that is taking place? Well, a lot of times when that has taken place, at least in my experiences, is this. Sometimes you know it, flat out, boom, I've given up, right? But we're not talking about when you know it. We're talking about when you don't know it. Sometimes what you find is that it's hard for you to do the things you know you need to do. And things that you once did that was easy for you to do, that didn't bother you so much, or might have bothered you, but you had the inner strength and the inner resolve to go ahead and do it. You'll find yourself where now those things are hard for you. Where you were once consistent, now you're very inconsistent. And half the time you don't even remember to take the stuff you need to take. Another way is when it's hard for you to do stuff, not because you're forgetting to take it, because you just don't want to. Right? You don't want to eat. You don't want to eat the right things. You know you're eating wrong things. You don't even want to try to resist it. You just want to eat what you want to eat. You just kind of want to veg out for a while, right? You need to get up and exercise. You need to do your rehab. You need to stay strong. But you just lose the resolve to do it. You think you want to do it, but when you get up and try to do it, it don't feel good. It hurts, so you just say forget about it, right? And where you once could have had the inner determination and the inner motivation, where you didn't need nobody to motivate you or to push you to do the things that you needed to do, now you kind of need somebody to be on you to do it, because you just can't find the inner resolve and the determination. How beautiful, it looks like it's going to rain outside. You can't find the inner resolve to be able to do that for yourself. I've been there. I've been in both places, right? Where I didn't have it in me, especially like there was a time where I got so weak, it was so hard for me to get up, so hard for me to do the things I needed to do. I wanted to get up, I needed to get up, but it didn't feel good, and it felt good laying back down, right? But the more I laid back down, I really didn't feel good. I was getting to a worse state, a worse place, right? But it beat trying to get up, and I knew the things I needed to do. I kept trying to get up and exercise. I do 1 or 2 stretches. It was too much, and that was it. And at that time, I knew I needed somebody to come in and to help me, because that inner motivation was no longer there. I needed someone to help me, and they only helped me for a few weeks, and I was good. For me personally, what I found is that the mere fact that I had to do something, or somebody was coming, right? They didn't really have to push me much, because I was going to get out and work out before they came to help me, right? Because I wanted to get somewhere faster, but I was in such a bad place, in such a bad state. It helped me to know that somebody was coming. That was the motivation that I needed. And I didn't need somebody to sit there and say, come on, you can do it, you can do it. Just knowing they was coming to the house made me want to get up and improve. and to do better. And so sometimes some people are like me and they need that, but some people need that coach. Come on, you can do it, right? One more. That helps a lot of people. And if you need that, go ahead and get that. But I've been in both places where I didn't have the inner resolve, the determination, or the motivation, and I needed to get other help. And I've also been in places, you guys, where I just found it hard to do the things that I needed to do, and I had to stop. And this is what you need to do when you find yourself doing that. When you find yourself having a hard time doing the things you need to do, you're not even thinking about taking the things that you need to take, you're inconsistent a lot, you have to stop. You have to ask yourself, right? What's going on? Why am I not doing the things that I need to do? Am I burned out? Do I need a break? Do I need to be refreshed, right? And then if that is the case, what do I need to do to refresh myself or to give myself that break? The other thing you need to ask yourself is, right, am I depressed? Am I fighting a depression here, or am I in a depression? Is that why I'm having the hard time that I'm having? What's really bothering me in my emotions? What's really hurting me on the inside that I'm not really trying to deal with? I'm trying to just act like everything's okay, but on the inside I'm crying, I'm a mess. Let's deal with that so that I can get back on track and do the things that I need to do for life. The other thing that comes with that sometimes that I have found is this. You've given up. You've quit on the inside, and you need to ask yourself that. Did I quit? Am I quitting on the inside and fooling myself, trying to act like I'm still moving forward, but really I've lost hope? And if that is the case, you need to deal with that thing, right? And turn around from that thing, and then do the things that you know that you need to do to move forward, to get back in faith, to get back in hope, to get back to being a positive person, to put one foot in front of the other and moving forward. It is so important, you guys, because if you don't deal with the truth of yourself and you don't ask yourself them questions, you're going to keep doing the things you don't know that you don't need to do, and then you'll find yourself in a really bad position where it's a 911 crisis mode, dire state situation, right? And what happens when you're in those dire states, you guys, either one, you're going to just give up all the way completely and you're going to check out of here, and it's not going to be a pretty way to check out, right? You're going to suffer, you're going to be miserable as you go down, and it's not going to be good. Or two, right, you're going to recognize what you've done, but it's only going to be when you get in that dire state that you're going to say, it's like touching fire, right? You can tell a little kid, you can tell a baby, don't touch that, it's hot. Don't touch that, it's hot. And every time you turn around, they're like, right? And then one day they'll just touch it and you hear, it's like, I told you, don't touch that, it's hot. But now that they know it's hot, whenever they see it, they're going to be like, ooh, I ain't touching that, that's hot. Mama ain't got to tell me, I know for myself it's hot. So sometimes when you don't deal with the truth of yourself and you keep going down that path, you get in a dire strait, you get in a bad crisis mode, a bad situation, and you go, ooh, I don't want to be here. And you can get that motivation and get yourself up out of there. However, we don't want that to happen, right? So the best thing for you to do is to know yourself. You've got to be in tune with who you are emotionally and physically. You need to know your body, because if you don't know your body, ain't no doctor gonna be able to help you the way you need to be helped. And that's just what it is. You just got to say it plain, right? Because a doctor can sit there and you can give them symptoms, and all they're going to do is take your symptoms and categorize it to what they've been taught. But you know your body, and if a symptom could be saying something, but you know specifically a lot of times what it is, where the pain is, why it's going on, because you know your body. You know how your body reacts to certain things, where doctors may say, no, you're not having a reaction to it, and no, I'm having a reaction. And a lot of times you can be dealing with something and a test and a lab can say, no, that's not the problem, but you know what you're dealing with, and by the time the tests show it, it's far gone, right? So you need to deal with stuff when you know that your body is going through it. So you got to know your body, you got to know your emotions, know where you are at, be honest with yourself and deal with that thing, because it could be the difference between life and death for you. So remember, when you're going through those types of things, understand that's normal. That's part of being a human being. So don't get down on yourself about that and beat yourself up with it. What you need to do is recognize where you are, right? Shake yourself off, shake that dust off, right? Put one foot in front of the other. You know what you need to do to get yourself to where you need to be on the inside, so that you can start doing the things that you need to do. If you're not in a place where you feel like you know what you need to do to get yourself up, or that you have the ability to do the things that you need to do, then it's time to seek outside help. I go to my husband a lot and let him know what's going on in the inside of me, so he can help keep me right on the straight and narrow, right? I also go to the Word of God. I started listening to the Word, the preached Word. I read the Word. I listen to worship songs that speak to me to where I'm at, that strikes that chord within me, that makes me motivated to get up and to do stuff. I also have utilized the help of people outside of my home. There's friends, there's families. You got elders at your church. You got counseling that you can go to. If you're one that talks to your doctor, then perhaps that's the way that you can go. But there is help out there for every need that a person can have. You might have to pay for it, but your insurance might cover it too with what you're going through. But hope something in there was helpful for you. Remember, in all things, at all times, do you. Until next time, bye.